Okay, let's jump right in. In the world of marketing and sales, two terms get tossed around and mixed up all the time: ideal customer profile and buyer persona. Now, they might sound kind of similar, but trust me, confusing them is a really costly mistake. So in this explainer, we're going to break down the difference and, more importantly, show how AI is making both of them more powerful than ever before. Here's the deal. So many businesses use these terms like they mean the same thing. They think they're being super precise with their targeting, but really, they're missing a huge piece of the puzzle. And look, this isn't just about getting the vocabulary right. It leads to wasted campaigns, generic messaging, and just a ton of missed opportunities. And that brings up a really critical question for you to think about. Is it possible you found the absolute perfect companies to sell to, but your message is just falling flat? Maybe because you're not speaking to the right people inside those companies, or you're just not hitting on the problems they actually care about. This is the exact issue we're here to unpack. All right, here's the simplest way to get your head around this. Your ideal customer profile, or ICP, that defines who you should be talking to. We're talking about the company itself. Which companies are a perfect fit for what you sell? Then you've got the buyer persona. This helps you understand the why, the actual people inside those companies, their goals, their challenges. So think of it like this. The ICP is the building, and the personas are all the different people working inside it. So let's get to the heart of it. We're going to really nail down the foundational differences between these two, because getting these definitions straight is absolutely the first step to building a strategy that actually works. First up, the ICP. Think of this as your strategic filter. It's a detailed description of your perfect fit customer account. This is all about the company level. We're looking at hard data, firmographics like their industry, company size, annual revenue, where they're located. The whole point is to figure out which companies are going to get the most value from you and, in turn, give the most value back to your business. Okay, so once you know the right company, you've got to understand the people inside, and that's where the buyer persona swoops in. This is a profile of an individual, and it's kind of semi-fictional, a composite. We're not talking about the company's financials anymore. We're talking about a real person's goals, their day-to-day frustrations, what motivates them, and what their role is in making a buying decision. This is what adds that crucial human element. Now, what's great about this slide is how it just lays it all out nice and clear. I mean, look at the focus. ICP is all about the business fit, while a persona is all about human motivations. And the data they use, totally different. ICPs are built on firmographics, hard numbers. Personas come from things like interviews and sentiment analysis. But here's the real kicker, the application. You use an ICP for the big picture strategy, for targeting accounts. You use personas for the tactical stuff, like writing an email or creating content. One is long-term, the other is all about the right now. If you remember one single thing from all of this, please make it this right here. ICP gives you precision. It makes sure you're aiming at the right target. Personas give you personalization. They make sure your message actually connects with the human on the other end. You absolutely need both to win. It's that simple. Okay, this is where things get really, really cool. For the longest time, creating these profiles was a static, manual process, right? You do it once a year. But AI has completely changed the game. It's turning these old school tools into living, breathing frameworks that adapt in real time. And that right there is the fundamental shift. Instead of defining your ICP in a conference room and then sticking it in a binder for a year, AI lets you constantly refresh it based on what's happening right now. Your targeting doesn't get stale. It literally evolves as your market evolves. So how does AI actually do this? Well, it uses behavioral analysis to see what your customers are actually doing, not just what they say they do. It uses predictive modeling to figure out which prospects are about to be ready to buy. Like, hey, this company just hired a new VP of marketing. It can even spot gaps in the market you didn't know existed. And all of that info feeds into constant, dynamic updates to your ICP. And for personas? Oh, AI gets even more granular. It's almost scary accurate. With sentiment analysis, it can read customer reviews and understand emotion, pinpointing that users are, say, frustrated with a certain feature. It can find micro-personas, these hyper-specific groups you never knew existed. And it tracks how different personas react to your content, telling you exactly which messages are hitting home and why. So now you've got this AI-powered precision and this AI-powered personalization. What happens when you put them together? Well, that's when the magic really happens. This is how you build a marketing and sales engine that is truly unstoppable. And the workflow is just so logical and clean. You start with the ICP to find the right companies. Simple enough. Then, inside those companies, you build out your personas to understand the right people. And finally, you use all those juicy persona insights to tailor your message, making sure you're having the right conversation every single time. This Adobe example is just perfect. Their ICP is creative enterprises. That's their precision. But they know a graphic designer cares about completely different things than an IT manager who has to deploy the software. Those are their personas. That's their personalization. And that's how they win. And, a huge, often overlooked benefit here is just getting everyone in your company on the same page. When sales is using the ICP to find leads, marketing is using the personas to write copy, and the product team is using both to decide what to build next, you get rid of all that internal friction. The whole company is pointed in the same direction. So let's bring this all home. Why is getting this right more important now, as we head into 2025, than it's ever been? Honestly, the answer is simple. It's the sheer pace of change. At the end of the day, it comes down to this. Using an ICP without personas means you're targeting the right companies with a generic message that nobody will listen to. Using personas without an ICP means you're crafting these beautiful personalized messages for companies that are a terrible fit and will never buy from you anyway. Both roads lead to wasted time and money. And so we come back to that one single fundamental idea. Let's say it one more time to really let it sink in. ICP is for precision. Personas are for personalization. You need both. And that really leaves us with one final thought. We've seen how AI can make all of this dynamic and responsive. Your customers, their needs, the market itself, it's all changing, literally by the second. So the real question you have to ask yourself is your targeting keeping up?